shut me off like that. Like, no. And so he's like, you know, he was talking to them, and so they was like,
and I can't believe she even fixed her mouth to even ask us about some splits.
Remember Boyz II Men? Back in the 90s, they were one of the biggest acts, known for their smooth harmonies and iconic R&B hits like Motownphilly and I'll Make Love to You. Their music made us swoon, scream, and maybe even shed a few tears. But behind the scenes, the real drama was just as intense. Wanya Morris, one of the group's standout voices, wasn't just making chart toppers. He was constantly in the spotlight for rumors, scandals, and feuds that kept fans buzzing. Was he living the ultimate R&B dream, or was it more like his own personal soap opera? Now, Kandi Burruss has finally spoken up, confirming the long-rumored dark side of Boyz II Men. Let's dive into the details. Wanya Morris and Boyz II Men, from high school to stardom. Wanya Jermaine Morris, born on July 9, 1973, to Carla Morris and Dallas Thornton, seemed destined for stardom from the start. While attending the Philadelphia High School for the Performing Arts, he crossed paths with the future members of Boyz II Men, bonding over their shared love of music and performance. In 1987, Morris became part of Unique Attraction, the early version of what would later become Boyz II Men, contributing his signature vocal style that would help shape their sound. Their high school years were filled with endless rehearsals and performances, where their harmonies grew tighter and their ambitions soared. With his magnetic charisma and natural flair, Wanya quickly made a name for himself, not just as a vocalist, but as a figure who embodied the excitement and occasional scandal that kept Boyz II Men in the R&B spotlight. In 1991, the group signed with Motown and instantly made waves with their debut album Coolie High Harmony, catapulting them into the mainstream and kicking off a legendary career. Chart success. Boyz II Men began to gain attention with their early singles, but it was End of the Road that really launched them into the spotlight, giving them their first number one on the Billboard charts. Interestingly, as Philly Mag noted, the song was originally intended for the soundtrack of the Eddie Murphy rom-com Boomerang rather than as a standout single. Once the label decided to include it on their debut album, it took off, eventually achieving certified platinum status with millions of copies sold. Reflecting on the song's success, Sean Stockman told People, "We were like, oh snap, we didn't expect this. We knew there was something special about it, but we didn't anticipate it doing that well. End of the Road changed our lives. It took us to another plane internationally." Their partnership with the legendary Motown label led to more record-breaking success. As Philly Mag highlighted, their single, On Bended Knee, took over the number one spot. One spot from I'll Make Love to You, making them only the third artists in history to achieve back-to-back hits at the top of the Billboard Hot 100, following in the footsteps of Elvis and the Beatles. Amid all the group's success, Wanya Morris wasn't content with just coasting on those wins. He joined Black Men United and lent his smooth vocals to the sultry single You Will Know for the Jason's Lyric soundtrack. It was another bold move that showcased his versatility and added yet another exciting chapter to his already dramatic career. Behind the scenes, drama and conflicts. Being part of a hit group like Boyz II Men at such a young age naturally brought its share of drama and tension. Behind the scenes, rumors constantly swirled about a possible rivalry between lead singers Wanya Morris and Sean Stockman. Despite the gossip, nothing concrete ever came to light, and nearly 3 decades later, the two have maintained a strong, brotherly bond. Their enduring friendship is a testament to the respect and closeness they share. But the real tension lay elsewhere. The more significant story involved the group's dynamic, particularly with Wanya, Sean, Nathan Morris, and original member Michael McCary. In 2003, fans were shocked when Michael left the group. The reason? He had been silently battling chronic back pain caused by multiple sclerosis, a condition he had kept hidden from his bandmates. This revelation not only added a sense of tragedy to the Boyz II Men journey, but also raised questions about the trust and communication within the group. McCary's health struggles. Despite Boyz II Men's continued success with hit albums, their journey was marred by serious health challenges. One particular tour had to be canceled and rescheduled when Wanya Morris developed a polyp on his vocal cords, which, as Jet reported, compromised his right vocal cord. This posed a significant threat to the group's signature harmonies. In a more alarming turn, McCary was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, a condition he kept under wraps until 2016. During an interview with TV life coach Iyanla Vanzant, McCary shared that he first noticed symptoms while he was still in the group, starting with minor back spasms that gradually intensified. Each time, it would get more harsh, he recalled. By the age of 22, the symptoms became more severe. Doctors warned him that if he made one wrong move, a nerve in his side could sever, putting him at risk of paralysis. Despite living with this constant fear, he chose not to share his diagnosis with the other band members, feeling an overwhelming sense of dread. Why McCary left Boyz II Men. Boyz II Men typically stayed away from drama, as Nathan Morris explained to Philly Mag. None of us are perfect, but we were raised to be different. We always wanted to impress our parents. However, McCary's secret struggle with a medical condition began to strain his relationship with the group, leading to his departure in 2003. In a 2014 interview with HuffPost, his bandmates suggested that McCary kind of gave up when things didn't go well. When Larry King asked about his exit, they implied that he simply didn't want to be involved anymore. They mentioned having reached out for possible reunion events but acknowledged that their friendship had weakened, asserting that their sound hadn't changed significantly without him. McCary, who had kept his diagnosis a secret, felt hurt by their comments. Reflecting on this in 2016 after revealing his multiple sclerosis, he said, "If I had to sum up what I got from my brothers in Boyz II Men, I would say betrayal, a broken bond. At this point, we don't even talk." In a candid moment on Oprah's Where Are They Now?, Wanya Morris addressed these claims, shedding light on the group's difficult decision to move forward without McCary. Morris explained that the decision was not made lightly. It stemmed from a combination of factors, including the pressures of their demanding career and the need to adapt to the changing circumstances. He emphasized that while the choice to continue without McCary was painful, the band felt it was necessary for their overall survival and growth. The scandalous relationship with Brandy. 1994 was a year of firsts for Brandy. Not only did she release her debut album, Brandy, which sold over 6 million copies worldwide, but she also fell in love for the very first time. At just a teenager, Brandy had developed strong feelings for Boyz II Men's Wanya Morris, who's 6 years her senior, after he invited her to be the opening act on the group's 1995 national tour. Though she was hesitant to express her feelings for him at first, the actress eventually drew up the courage to tell Morris how she felt. "I just told him that I loved him and thanked him for making me feel the way I feel because I had never felt that way before," she recalled during a 2012 episode of VH1's Behind the Music. He was just like, "Wow." The relationship took a transition, and we became a couple. I was on a high. It was love. It was real love. The broken-hearted collaborators carried on an intense relationship for 2 years, but kept their romance hidden from prying eyes due to Brandy's budding career. "Immediately, everything was about my career," the sitting up in my room singer explained. "What are you teaching young girls? Do they fall in love at a young age? Is that wrong? Is that a sin? It just made me feel like I was all by myself and that whatever I'm feeling personally is going to have to be put to the side." Just a month before Brandy turned 19, Wanya Morris made the difficult decision to end their relationship. He had fallen in love with someone else, leaving Brandy heartbroken. As her first love, Morris held a special place in her heart, making the breakup particularly painful. Reflecting on the split, Brandy expressed the depth of her emotions, revealing how devastated she felt. "He fell in love with someone else," she recounted. "The worst feeling is to be in love all by yourself. That feels fucked up, honestly." The raw honesty in her words painted a vivid picture of her sorrow. "It felt like somebody had completely taken my heart out of my body and just crushed it." Rumors and the Adina Howard affair. While Wanya Morris was still in a relationship with Brandy, he began spending time with Adina Howard, who had skyrocketed to fame in the mid-1990s with her debut album, Do You Wanna Ride? And her hit single, Freak Like Me. In a revealing 2019 interview on TVO's Unsung, Howard opened up about their flirtation, describing it as a thing that developed while she was working on her second album, Welcome to Fantasy Island. This budding romance created tension between Brandy and Howard, both of whom were signed to Atlantic Records at the time. "Two young ladies, a lot of their egos get in the way and we're kind of going through it about a guy," Howard recounted, highlighting the drama that unfolded as the love triangle became public knowledge. The situation caught the attention of Sylvia Rhone, Atlantic's vice president, who intervened when she learned of the conflict. Rhone advised Howard to concentrate on her music rather than her relationship with Morris. However, Howard chose to disregard this advice, and soon after she found herself on the phone with media personality Wendy Williams. During their chat, she didn't hold back, sharing some choice words about both Rhone and Brandy. This indiscretion did not sit well with Rhone, who reacted swiftly, delaying the release of Howard's second album indefinitely. "I said something very inappropriate about the head of the label," Howard admitted, reflecting on the fallout. "She pulled the emergency brake and shut everything down." This dramatic turn of events not only stalled Howard's career, but also highlighted the complexities of navigating relationships in the music industry. Years later, fans began speculating that Brandy's iconic song, The Boy Is Mine, was inspired by her tumultuous relationship with Morris and the affair with Howard. Morris and Brandy ultimately ended their relationship in 1998, just a few months before her 19th birthday, marking a significant chapter in both of their lives amidst the ongoing drama. Controversial moments with Kandi Burruss. The drama surrounding Boyz II Men extended beyond their internal conflicts and seeped into their interactions with peers in the music industry, particularly during a notable incident with Kandi Burruss. Known for her Grammy-winning work with Xscape, Burruss recounted her tumultuous experience with the group on her show, Candy Coated Nights. The trouble began after they collaborated on two songs, Good Guy and Beautiful Women. While the writing sessions started off lively, filled with laughter and camaraderie until the early hours, tensions quickly escalated over songwriting credits. Burruss emphasized the importance of addressing splits early on, citing her experience in the industry. "If you collaborate with anyone, it's crucial to determine how the credits will be split, while everything is fresh in your mind," she explained. "Otherwise, people tend to forget who contributed what." After a long night of writing, Burruss decided to raise the topic. "I said, hey guys, how do you normally do your splits?" However, her inquiry was met with immediate resistance. Their attitudes shifted instantly, she recalled. They were like, "Splits? What do you mean?" Trying to defuse the situation, Burruss reassured them that if it was too late, they could discuss it another time. But the group insisted on talking it out. During the discussion, they suggested that the songwriter, Shakespeare, should receive 50% of the credits. Burruss agreed, but when they proposed that she only receive 10% for one of the songs, she pushed back. "That might work for the second song, but for the first one I was practically done with it," she asserted, arguing that 10% didn't reflect her contribution. After leaving, the group contacted Burruss's manager to backtrack on their agreement, stating that she would only receive 10% for both songs. Hearing their conversation through her manager, Burruss was appalled. I said, "No, that's not going to work. They're not going to cheat me like that." Amidst the fallout, Wanya Morris emerged as a central figure in the conflict. Known for his fiery personality, he didn't hold back when discussing the incident. He claimed that Burruss had no right to question the splits, reportedly saying, "I can't believe she even fixed her mouth to ask us about splits." Although he acknowledged Burruss's valid concerns, he critiqued her career trajectory, suggesting that she hadn't made a significant musical impact since her work with TLC and Boyz II Men. "Music-wise, she's just been doing TV, which is awesome," Morris noted, but added, "I haven't heard a song where I was like, 'Yay, Kandi,' like back in the day." This remark reflected the underlying tension, revealing how personal and professional egos often collide in the competitive music industry. The tour manager was murdered. Boyz II Men's early career was marked by a heartbreaking tragedy when their road manager, Khalil Rountree, was shot and killed in 1992 during an attempted robbery. The incident took place while the group was staying at the guest quarters suite hotel with their entourage. When three men started knocking on hotel doors, Rountree and road manager Qadri El Amin went to investigate. In the struggle that followed in the elevator, El Amin was shot in the knee, and Rountree tragically lost his life. A spokesperson for Motown Records described the event as inexplicable, noting how Boyz II Men were a peaceful group with no connection to the kind of trouble that might have surrounded other bands. Some rap, R&B, and rock groups have seedy characters that hang around with them on the road, but Boyz II Men were not that kind of group at all, and that's why it really stuns us, he said. Nathan Morris later reflected on the loss, telling the Des Moines Register, "When he was killed in Chicago, it turned us upside down for a while. He was pretty much a father figure. He was more than just a road manager." To honor Rountree's memory, the group dedicated an interlude called Khalil on their 1994 album 2, a touching tribute to someone who had been such an essential part of their journey. Boyz II Men's signature style. When you think of Boyz II Men, you likely picture them in their signature matching outfits, always presenting a united front on stage. However, what many fans didn't realize is that the band members weren't initially fond of their look. The decision for the group's preppy attire came from Michael Bivins. "We weren't really into it at first," Sean Stockman revealed in Spin magazine. "But once we started wearing the stuff and learned how to style it, it began to feel good." Wanya Morris echoed this sentiment in an interview with the Chicago Tribune, explaining that they had originally dressed like typical R&B artists. "We didn't stand out. Our old manager, Michael Bivins, believed we needed a different approach to make an impression. He took us shopping, and we picked out our wardrobe for the next year," he recalled. Their clothing was intentionally designed to set them apart. "It was very collegiate, very preppy," Morris explained. "If we walked down the street, people wouldn't feel the need to clutch their purses. Soon enough, their look sparked a trend. He was a visionary. Everyone started adopting that style after they saw us," he added. The Fresh Prince. Boyz II Men had truly cemented their status as icons of 90s pop culture when they received an exciting invitation to appear on a beloved TV show hosted by their old friend Will Smith. In 1993, they guest-starred in a Christmas special of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which revolved around Smith's character promising his family that he could get Boyz II Men to perform. This crossover was a special moment for the group, as they shared deep roots with Smith. Reflecting on this experience, Sean Stockman told People, "We're Philly boys, and we have a history growing up in the same neighborhoods and being in the business. It felt like hanging with homies." He expressed immense pride in Smith's journey, noting, "We were extremely proud of Will and seeing his success grow. It was nice to see other brothers blowing up in a really good way." Fellow band member Nathan Morris shared further insights in the New York Post, revealing that Boyz II Men had a close-knit relationship with Smith, having attended house parties together during their youth, where DJ Jazzy Jeff often spun the records. Morris recounted, "Will was actually considering becoming our manager before Michael Bivins came into the picture. He reminisced about the early days, saying, 'By the time we were finding success, Will was already doing Fresh Prince, so he was on another level.' The heartfelt connection between the group and Smith was evident when he personally reached out to them for the show. Will pretty much called us personally to ask if we would do the show," Morris recalled, highlighting the camaraderie and mutual respect that had developed over the years. One Sweet Day and Mariah Carey. In 1995, two of R&B's most influential acts came together to create One Sweet Day, a heartfelt collaboration between Boyz II Men and Mariah Carey that would become one of the longest-running #1 singles in music history. The song was born out of tragedy, initially intended as a tribute to those affected by AIDS. Carey's longtime collaborator, David Cole, had passed away that year, and her sister was also gravely ill. At the same time, Boyz II Men were grappling with the loss of their tour manager, Khalil Rountree. In the wake of this, Nathan Morris had begun crafting his own memorial song that coincidentally shared a similar vibe to Carey's emerging track. Morris recalled in Chicken Soup for the Soul, as noted by Soul Track, that when Carey played the melody and hook for them, it was nothing short of extraordinary. "It was almost the same song I was writing," he said. He explained how Tommy Mottola had reached out to invite them to collaborate with Carey. "I told her that I was working on a song with a similar melody. While the lyrics were different, the premise was the same, and they complemented each other perfectly." They decided to merge their ideas, and Morris even sang her the melody and lyrics he had developed. The result was a powerful ballad that resonated with listeners, dominating the charts with a remarkable 16-week reign at #1. One, a record that held strong until 2019 when it was surpassed by Lil Nas X's Old Town Road, boy band copycats. As white boy bands like NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys began to rise in popularity, Boyz II Men found their own success challenged by these acts, who didn't have to navigate the same struggles to cross over from R&B into the mainstream. The similarities between their music were sometimes striking. "There's a reason Backstreet Boys' I'll Never Break Your Heart sounds exactly like Boyz II Men's End of the Road," noted boy band historian Maria Sherman in an interview with New England Public Media. "It's pretty egregious." In the docuseries This Is Pop, Sean Stockman shared that Boyz II Men had to work twice as hard to get to what their birthright was, highlighting the easier path that white boy bands seem to have on their way to the top. Nathan Morris added, "It's typical in urban music, unfortunately." While NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys may have pointed to Boyz II Men as an influence, they didn't see themselves as part of the same category. "We created our own entity and our own image. We wanted to be together," Morris explained, crediting their longevity to the fact that they weren't manufactured by a label. Morris emphasized their pride in their roots, saying, "Wherever we went, we always wanted to make sure people knew where we were from. We wanted them to understand what Philly was about and what it meant to us. It was like a badge of honor that we carried everywhere." Net worth of Boyz II Men. Over the years, Boyz II Men's numerous hit singles have accumulated significant wealth for the group. According to Celebrity Net Worth, the band members are collectively worth around $200 million. Wanya Morris, Sean Stockman, and Nathan Morris each boast individual fortunes exceeding $60 million, while former bass singer Michael McCary has maintained a net worth of $20 million despite not performing with the group for years. In a conversation with Forbes, the three current members shared that their commitment to staying together for over 3 decades stems from a decision made early on to share their earnings equally. "If one guy writes it, we all get paid. If one guy sings it, we all get paid. It's our group, and we want everyone to feel included," Nathan explained. He recalled how after their first album, he noticed his publishing check was larger and realized he didn't want more money than his bandmates for writing their songs. I just didn't want anyone in the group to feel like their role was more important than anyone else's. Stockman added, "Wealth isn't just a status for me, it's a mentality." He emphasized that when entertainers and athletes come into large sums of money without understanding its true value, they risk squandering it. It's not just about consumption, it's about recognizing what it means to have this kind of wealth beyond the dollars themselves. Vegas residency. Boyz II Men joined the ranks of iconic artists like Celine Dion and Lady Gaga when they decided to launch a residency at the Mirage in Las Vegas, as noted by Philly Mag. Nathan Morris reflected on the effort that goes into making these performances happen, saying, "These things take a lot of work to arrange. We keep pushing forward to entertain our fans. Not every attempt is successful, but some of them definitely are." However, there was some resistance within the group regarding the Vegas residency. In the Netflix series This Is Pop, Wanya Morris shared his reservations, expressing discomfort with the stereotypes associated with performing in Las Vegas. "When the option for Vegas came up, I was totally opposed. I thought, people go to Vegas to die," he admitted. In contrast, Nathan emphasized that performing was crucial to preserving their legacy. Over time, as we built our audience, Wanya began to see the vision we had for the next phase of our career, he explained. "We want to keep the name of the group alive and relevant in the world. As Boyz II Men continue to navigate their legacy in the music industry, their journey is a testament to the complexities of fame, collaboration, and personal struggles. What are your thoughts on the challenges they faced and their impact on the music scene? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay tuned.